It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
So, last we left off, the other half of Bell's Hells, which found itself scattered to another part of Exandria, had crawled their way in the middle of the night out of some sort of a massive gorge of geothermal activity and dangerous spraying bits of steam and acid-like liquid materials, upon which you began to wander into the nearby forest in hopes of finding some semblance of civilization. Along the path, you stumbled upon one, and then two, and then a third new companion along this journey, each with their own unique form of chaos they bring along with them.
No.
You camped out without a nearby cavern, rose with the sunrise, and gauged where your next destination should be here on the far-off continent of Issylra. So, as you all awaken, what would you like to do? Prepare and be on your way.
I have been thinking ever since you inquired if I had any spells, and I thought maybe I could do you one better than ascending if I could find somewhere in town that had a scrying scroll or a wizard who had it in their book. I will confess to having stolen spells from the restricted area of the library in the past, and so it would not be the first time that I borrowed information. If I could get this, well, it's called scry, and basically if you have an object that belongs to someone that you're trying to see, you can try to see them. And so
This one I know.
So I thought maybe if you were looking for your...
Oh yeah, I got a lock of his hair. Keep it right here. Pulls out.
Wow, that's more than a lot.
It's like a tuft of red hair.
It's like some dried scalp still attached to it.
You're with the kobold soul.
Yeah,
Okay. And from where?
Iman.
Oh, okay. So you're both from, Taldore,
Yeah, I'm trying to get back there.
Wildmouth. Okay, Marquet.
Oh, and you could look, you said your brother is sick.
Yeah,
You could maybe scry on him and make sure he's okay.
that would be amazing. I would love to just know where I am.
Within a few hours' travel, you find what looks to be an actual road that's been put through this forest that travels like in a eastern direction. There is one wooden sign a little ways traveling up it that to one side reads Endovar, and that's to the west. That's not the direction that you're traveling.
Endovar with an E?
Endovar with an E. And to the right it reads Hearthdell. And then a kind of big general sign pointing in the direction of Hearthdell. It says Authensia in older paint and ink.
Dynoios, I don't really know what your experience was in life. Do you know anything about the place that we're at?
The face presses back out of the leather binding of the book, kind of like scrunched up a bit. Well, understand that I also hail from Obleris, as you once did, and through my historical knowledge, I have heard of Authensia, which is the northeastern portion of the Isylran continent, home to Vesselheim, the Vasper Timberlands, and all manner of other locations, such as the Zinwick Mountains, the Silted Vale, Moldire, Marrowglade Loch, Cindergrove Pyra, Shorecombe, the Sunderpeak Mountains, and so it's just listing off different things.
You should work in tourism.
And if indeed you are travelling upon this road here between Hearthdell and Endovar, this particular roadway, which seems rather importantly travelled, would most likely be referred to as the Outer Walk.
We need some food, a little rest.
Hearthdale
bath.
sounds nice, it sounds warm. It sounds like a place where you can get a nice cup of warm cider.
It's got the word hearth right in there.
Yes.
We might have to travel on to Vasselheim after that, but one step at a time, right?
Are you talking? Yeah, I definitely feel curious about that.
Anything for some civilization. I hate camping.
The road itself is pretty uneventful. Itself being largely traversed for trade, travel, whatever it may be. It seems to be one of the safer means of traversing the center of this valley. Eventually you come to what looks like a crossroads, or at least where a fork would be, to where a northern road would travel. But the northern road appears to be rather overgrown and in heavy disuse. The trees are clustered, almost like the forest has retaken that northward path. And there upon the corner, you can see there are the dilapidated remnants of what first looks like a stage. But then you see the construction that lies upon it. This looks to have been a long disused gallows.
Oof.
Oh, that got so dark so quick.
As you begin to move beyond it, you can see the gathered mist and the sign of the gallows and the crossroads begin to vanish behind you as you continue along the outer walk road. The sky grows a little more gray, not heavy clouds, but you can just see bits of the blue sky beyond where it breaks through the cloud cover, the threads of shifting, undulating ley line energy still markedly caught by the continuing apogee solstice in the sky above. And you continue to look up past the canopy of the sides of the forest trees and the sides of the road to keep an eye where that nexus seems to reside, as that seems to have some proximity to the location that you saw above the tree line the night before. As it grows closer and closer still, I'd say the three of you, there's a change in the taste of the air. It's almost like a faint iron copper type flavor.
What?
Okay.
Like there's a current, like an electrical current that just very faintly drifts through the moisture that rests above. There's one large hill that rises up, and you can see the streams of smoke that you once saw at the distance as the marker of nearby civilization. You're not that far away from the town that you saw.
Sort of coincides with our destination.
What if it's not a
I
town?
mean, that was kind of one of the reasons why we headed towards it.
It's not a town, is it?
Obviously, some sort of arcane trickery is happening, or amplification. Can I just make just a little tiny cantrip in my hand and see if it glitches or anything? I'll just make a little tiny matron of ravens.
You create the faint illusory image of a matron within your grasp, her porcelain white mask appearing on her long black flowing cloak and feathered mantle that cascades off her shoulders. But normally such an illusion would be very transparent. This is very clear, almost like the illusion itself is like ever so faintly bolstered.
I'm not usually this good. I think that maybe illusion magic is being amplified.
The nexus that you saw in the sky a little ways off, the closer you get to this point of civilization, you begin to realize it kind of coincides, not necessarily directly over, but definitely nearby proximity to the leyline nexus. Eventually, the outer walk road begins to progress further eastward, while a small offshoot road with a sign that reads the Odembach Hill / Hearthdell, and it splinters southward in the direction of the large, like not quite mountain size, but a very big hill where this village that you saw was built upon. You can see the smokestacks of the various larger buildings and homesteads. On the northern side of it, you see a lumber mill and can hear the sound of sawing and work being done. You begin to...
I don't like that sound.
It's creepy.
You begin to see the people of the village out and about doing their work, gathering materials, heading home, heading to whatever their business is for the day. You can see them gathering up like heavy bits of thatched grass, and as soon as they kind of eye you, they kind of stand there frozen for a bit, just with that kind of wide-eyed, what the hell sort of expression.
I wave and smile.
Yeah.
Hi.
They just kind of turn around and go back into the village, but keep like looking over their shoulders at you as they step up the road.
Is there like a gate or anything to approach, or just kind of walking?
I'm just worried that when we walk in, there will be some kind of enchantment.
No, these are normal people.
Okay, I
can
trust
tell.
Border.
These are
I don't.
people I grew up with.
Really?
They look like simple folks.
So why don't you go up front and you talk to them?
I'm happy to do that.
I'll stand right behind you just in case.
I believe in the faith. I believe in the goodness in people, and these people look good to me.
Here on this portion, then you see two figures. One you see is a tall younger gentleman with kind of a mop of dirty blonde hair, a breastplate, looks to be a cloak of like a deep gold and white color over it, and a spear, who has a symbol on the shoulder that you recognize to be that of the Dawnfather, who is just kind of like walking along the outskirts of town before kind of keeping an eye over in the direction of you and your companions and kind of just stops. The other one that's closer to you and hasn't noticed your approach is a very, very old man who looks like he's has a small like hand cart that he's been pulling behind, sets it down for a second, leans back against looks like a hitching post of some kind, and begins to stuff tobacco into a elongated wooden pipe.
Excuse me, Uncle. Hello, sir.
I don't think I'm anyone's uncle, but
Just a term of endearment, respect.
I appreciate your respect. Why? But what? Whoa, what do you do? Who are you? What are you looking for?
That story is very long, sir. My friends, they're my friends. My compatriots and we're lost, actually. Do you know how I can get back to the Syrios Mountains?
I don't know. I've ever heard about no serious mountains.
Oh, this is difficult. Well, what's your name, sir?
My name's Hender.
Hender, is everything okay in the town since the cosmos went wacky?
Don't know nothing weird around these parts at all.
And then Denise like points up. You said that's normal here?
Can I give Hender some of my jerky?
I was interested in making a bit of a transaction.
Maybe you can help us then. A little information for the jerky. So I'm gonna ask you again. Nothing weird happened here? Day ago or so?
I mean, that's right strange, wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
No one disappeared, strangers appeared, anything like that?
We lost a few.
Okay.
It's been a strange day, past weeks.
Weeks. Been happening more than one day?
I'm just an old fool. You should probably talk to...
Looks back to see if the guard's nearby.
Talk to Prolef or the elder Abaddina.
Abaddina.
Where can we find them?
Well, Prolef, his shop is up not too far from that pub that you were pointed towards.
What kind of shop?
He's the herbalist.
Herbalist.
The, Abaddina, you're gonna want to find her at the Knot Burrow. That's over in the Arkloon Fields on the southeastern side. Hard to miss, kind of a quaint-looking, weird cottage. Anyway. Thank you
Thank you.
for your business.
Wow. As you begin to walk through the streets and kind of glance around, this looks to be a modest farming, logging village. It's just all the things that a village would need to be self-sufficient here in essentially the middle of nowhere. But there isn't a lot of conversation. There isn't a lot of talking. It's just kind of people quietly doing their thing.
And not speaking with each other either.
If they do, it's usually quick and hushed. As you get towards the top of the hill, to what was referred to as the Stone Square, you see here there is an elevated stone kind of hilltop monolith that tends to like rise and jut out, almost like a Pride Rock looking structure that has steps built around it and what looks to be almost like two maypole structures kind of off to the sides where you can see there are simple ribbons that have kind of been left to kind of blow in the wind. You do see another armored figure that is not far from the center here wearing a similar attire, keeping watch and kind of just walking through, keeping tabs on most of the townsfolk. You don't know if they're looking to for any sort of altercations or looking for a specific person, but they're definitely keeping a close eye on the populace.
Is it a normal thing, like, for a town this small to have, like, religious law enforcement or, like, not real? I mean, you said there was, like, a Dawnfather, like...
Religious law enforcement is a rare thing in general, but also catches your attention. There's a much larger temple than you would have expected to have seen here.
There she is.
Yeah.
Beautiful, pristine. It looks like it's made from white marbles and smooth stones. There are reddish and gold colors and details along the numerous towers that rise to the side and the dome-like center that currently rises from the center of the main structure. A lot of money. And a lot of design work has gone into this temple. It stands like a sore thumb against the majority of the populace.
I'm going to the shop. Let's do it.
Relax it is.
Okay, not far from the stone square where you stand. Glancing around, you can see there is Innovar Apothecary. You step inside, and there is a small note on a desk, as well as a bell hanging that says, in kind of a handwritten, quick, hasty note, "Out for a few moments. Please don't take anything."
Ooh, I pick up the bell and I start ringing.
The door opens real fast.
Fuck. Hi. Oh, hi. There's a lot of you in here. I didn't realize it was going to be so... usually only people come one at a time.
We didn't steal anything.
We didn't steal anything.
I
you
appreciate
Prolapse?
you. I am Prolapse.
Oh.
Welcome to my apothecary. Wow.
You see this gentleman, human in maybe his late 50s or so.
We heard about your shop from your friend Hender.
Oh,
Said you
good
got a
old
great
Hender.
shop. We just want to check it out.
Well, I traveled far, I assume, or if you're in town here looking for something all this way, I'm very honored that you came this far to see me.
Well,
I think the cosmic events sort of shunted us here, and we're a ragtag team of new friends.
So you just kind of...
none of us are supposed to be here.
We're not
Yeah, we've
supposed to
heard
be here.
around town that you've lost a few people here.
Yeah, so you...
Oh, and he kind of leans back for a second and touches his head. He goes,
So the people that vanished might still be okay.
Not dead.
Oh, yeah.
Not
We
that.
hope.
Not dead.
We're really just trying to get a lay of the land and understand what happened ourselves. How long have you been dealing with this?
Oh, this all just happened last night.
Last night. Okay.
How many people, I guess?
Last count, we lost 11. We saw this event transpiring, very beautiful, if a little ominous. So, we kind of threw together a makeshift celebration. Everyone brought their food and their lights and their colors and their best dress out there to really kind of, make it a how do you do?
Yeah.
And
Was that sort of the people of the village felt just organically inspired to do that, or was, did the temple provide for these festivities at all?
his demeanor kind of shifts a little bit tense because we knew it was coming. They told us a while back. That's kind of why they've been here for the past few months.
So they're not usually here, the guards.
The temple was built here a while back.
Yeah.
But they sent some specialists to kind of keep an eye on things because we happen to be close to whatever this is.
You said the temple let you know it was coming months ago. Are you referring to the solstice?
Yeah, that's the word that they use a lot for it, that there's this big solstice coming and they just wanted to make sure everyone stayed safe, so they sent a lot of...
So they sent a lot of what?
The big armored meanies.
Sent a lot of them.
Yes.
They're the least of the nervous, though. They...
What are you afraid of, Prolef?
kind of like thinks for himself and... Look, there's been a lot of Offensian agents that have been coming down here. They sent one of the, what are they called?
Adjudicator?
The masked ones.
Oh, shit. Offensian ninjas.
Is this related to the stuff that you guys saw?
There are these,
Yeah.
if they're the same, kind of cloaked figures with, like, very intricate carved metallic masks with no openings for their mouths, just...
Is that
They're like the divine warriors of the faithful or something.
Yeah, they're heavy hitters out of Vasselheim, which is, again, Vatican City.
See, we didn't really know what else to think of it. We're not classically God-faithful people here in this part of the land. We're more folk of the landscape here.
Yeah.
He starts like kind of fumbling his words a little bit. We're just not we don't worship as intently as folk from further north.
You're not going to offend any of us, by the way.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 20.
We're of the loam and the leaf.
The loam and the leaf?
It's kind of, I guess, what they would refer to as the more of a pagan
Agriculture.
life. We've been here in this village for hundreds of years, and the land has taken care of us. The spirits of the land have taken care of us, and that's been plenty fine. And we've been, as others in this valley have been targets of the missionaries of Vasselheim often, but we keep to ourselves and told them no thank you.
So, can I ask you, why did they build this temple here? I mean, who goes to it?
Well,
good question?
there's two mills in this town. One of them, the bigger one, is the Silvercall mill, and the Silvercall family is out of Endovar, and even I don't think they're from there originally. They're just kind of they got a lot of wealth behind them.
What do they mill?
Lumber.
Lumber. Oh, right.
And are they a religious type, or?
They seem to have some strong ties to the temples. They bought a lot of land out from under the village, and before we knew it, suddenly there were representatives out of Athansia that had the proper rights to start building a temple here. And for the first time in generations, we had an Athansian faith presence in our village.
So are you saying that in the past they offered you the faith and now they're force-feeding it?
They're ever present. They haven't been aggressive forcefully, but at the same time, the people feel less and less safe. It's hard to speak freely in the presence of some of the temple bastions.
Yeah, I'd imagine if I were in your shoes, I'd want somewhere else to do that. You know.
He kind of smiles a little bit. Mm-hmm. We have our places.
I'm gonna start writing a note.
There's been a bit of a discontent from some of the land spirits when the Silverwell Mill has taken more than was agreed upon. The Elder handles the communication with the spirits.
You talking about Elder Abaddina?
Abaddina? Have you spoken with her?
No, I'd love to. Would she speak to us freely?
You see him kind of pull back a little bit, and he begins to shuffle at the continued questioning and
But we are also patrons, and I did write a list of things we need.
Yeah, I got this terrible headache. What can I use for that?
And
I can
it's
definitely help you with that.
it's an illusory script, so it looks like a list of herbs we need, but it says, "Where can we meet you to speak freely?" Just say it out loud. But only he can see it because it's an illusory script.
Right. It goes. Oh, I can definitely take down some of these. The Notborough in the Arkloon Fields. It's a beautiful cottage. Blooms quite often. It's where I take a lot of my trimmings for some of my concoctions.
I'd like to go there sometime.
You should. Just make sure you knock.
Okay, so maybe we don't leave him
Abaddina,
empty-handed. We
Applebaum.
can purchase our.
Yeah.
I'll purchase my headache medication.
Right.
Do you have anything super useful for the road? For trouble?
Well, you have to describe what you're having bowel problems.
No.
I have 2 vials here that can clean it up within 30
Yeah, you
or
need
so
a husk.
minutes. Just make sure you're not far from the
Psyllium husks.
hole in the ground.
I don't know. Like if I were out
Magnesium.
traveling and my friend were, attacked by wolves or something, and I needed to stabilize them.
Well, I do have some healing salves at my disposal, indeed, that I
But you've been
keep for
really
such a
kind
thing.
to us, talking to us so long. So I would love to buy 3 or 4 of those.
Me too.
All right, yeah, I can go ahead
Oh,
and
do
do
you
that.
also have a very heavy laxative?
I mean, these are normal laxatives, but
I don't think he needs
uncorks
anything
them and
stronger
pours
than
them
that.
all into one vial and kind of
God.
corks it. That would be a pretty heavy laxative.
I feel like you've already. Okay.
All right, put that.
Just wait.
That's 6 gold for the 6 vials used for that one. Thank you kindly.
So should we to Abaddina?
Yeah.
Because I want to freaking chat on the way, and I feel like we can't speak freely here.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you.
You've moved to where you can see now the large swath of the forest in this area has been cleared for farmland, and you see the vast majority of the tilled fields and kind of the beautiful farming village portion of Hearthdell there before you.
Love
At
the
the-
smell of manure.
You do eventually see what stands out strongly against the rest of the simple abodes to the edge of where the tree line is about to begin here in the Arkloon Fields, a large 2-story cottage estate, itself very round in its design. You gather this itself would be the Notborough.
All right, Lana, you ready?
I'm so ready. This is my moment.
Immediately, these 2 vines detach from the top of the area above the tree, and they both kind of curl down, and they both almost serpent-like rise up, almost like they're inspecting you eyelessly.
We come in peace.
They both withdraw back up into what you can see as a cluster of roots and vines at the top of it. Now that you're this close to the cottage, you can see just elements of that coloration that peeks through. Probably about 1/3 to half of the cottage itself is completely wrapped in ivy and vine. A few moments later, the small little door on the door opens up, and you see one kind of somewhat clouded eye peek through. Can I help you?
Hello.
Hi.
We're looking for Abaddina.
Prolaf sent us.
Abaddina.
Abaddina?
What if I might ask is your business?
Well, we're lost. We were just zapped here yesterday. I heard some people were also zapped away. We were zapped here.
Caught up in the winds of the solstice, were you?
Yes.
Yeah. And we are friends of the loam and the leaf.
Loam and the leaf. Exactly.
loom and
The
loo.
loom and the lore.
The door pulls in inward, and you can see the kind of the low-lit interior. And there, standing in the doorway, a tall woman, probably close to 6'5".
Wow.
Broad-shouldered, half-giant woman, probably her 60s or so. Her has extremely long locks of thick woven gray hair that kind of goes down past her mid-back. It's all just kind of woven, and it has colorful large beads and rings all tangled and tied within it that just kind of dangle and swoop behind her. You see both of her eyes are somewhat clouded, the pupil itself obscured with just that little bit of that kind of gray pinpoint in the center. But she still has a kind of a welcoming, knowing smile across her weathered, kind of deep gray-brown skin. She kind of stands there, reaches over and grabs onto the edge of the doorway and kind of leans out, slightly looming over all of you as she looks down at especially you, Orem.
As she does so, Orem grows a wide white flower in his hands and reaches it up to her and says,
Yes.
I know that we're strangers, but that doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Very well. Enter. I think there is much to discuss. She whispers something into one of the nearby flowers as it seems to almost like nod to her and pull away. She closes the door behind you. So, tell me what is it you're here specifically about?
Okay, let's see.
Pale as a sheep.
We all bamfed here.
Bamfed.
Different continents. Handful of us are from Marquet, handful of us are from Taldore, and he's from Wildmount. And we all ended up here last night.
So you are yourselves also travelers of the ley line tangle.
So we're trying to figure out
How to get back.
how to get back, where we're at, and as soon as we got to town, your name was dropped twice as the person to go see.
And I'm looking for a scry spell that I could copy down.
Well, first and foremost, 'tis quite dangerous to be offering this information in the open. If you weren't looking quite so lost, and if I wasn't expecting more of a refined front should you have been sent to seek our inner midst, I would have already sent you on your way. I am Elder Joan Abaddina. I am what you would call a soothsayer and protector of the people of this village, as have my family been for a number of generations. As part of my position as a protector, I have to protect them from outside uncouth interests, whether that be political, religious, or otherwise. And she kind of deeply scans your crew of 6. And you're just looking to get home. And you're looking for a scry spell, you said?
Well, truthfully, I was dispatched here to fill out questionnaires, but my resolve and the idea that I'm ever going to be promoted from apprentice is waning. And so the scry spell was really just for them to check on their friends, because I think that must be a really awful situation to not know if they're okay.
And my brother, who's sick.
And his brother is sick.
Of course.
And her fiancé, who's a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
The people of this hill, the people of the surrounding region, look to me as a guide, a spiritual advisor, as I can speak to the Demethor Eidolons, the spirits that bring life to these lands.
What do the spirits that bring life to these lands think of the Silver Call Mill?
You see her like smile, but the smile where the teeth pull back across the gums and it bears into a grimace.
Because we all think it's shit.
There are many forces that work against our traditions and our history. But it is about timing. What are your opinions of those that call themselves the prime deities?
Well, we were just discussing this,
I say fuck them.
and it's hard to support them when we can see how much damage is being done in the name of God in your town.
Yeah. And they do seem to choose favorites, which isn't always the most admirable trait.
Well, clearly some of them are horrific. Some of them have done a lot of good in the world. The truth is, not all of us, but some of us, we're kind of at the kickoff of whatever this is, halfway around the world. There's forces out there that just as soon pull the gods down, and I think the problems I'm seeing here in your home are a response. An overreach.
How do you feel about the prime deities?
She like inhales across her fingers and blows this like gentle spore of almost like pink dust in your direction. She looks to you. May I?
Yeah. Yes.
Then inhale. As you kind of breathe in the spores a bit, you can feel kind of the warmth coat the inside of your sinuses and your throat, and you feel the urge to cough for a moment, but you resist and hold back. And this kind of like warm fuzziness takes your mind, almost like you're being pushed into a dream. Not against your will, but definitely not by yours.
I'm giving permission, whether it's wanted or not.
Images, bursts of time experiences, the Malleus Key, the fleeing from the Feywild, the scream of your friends, the battle with Odahan Thul in the middle of the Hellcatch Valley, the assault on the Voice of the Tempest, the first time, the last time. Everything kind of comes into a clustered tangle of your experiences before you find yourself now unable to resist the cough and double over, coughing and heaving dryly into the air. The rest of you watch Orm kind of give into this as she kind of breathes deep.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
What did you do to him?
What's that?
I merely experienced some of his experiences. And to answer your question, what is my opinion? We are born free people. It is only those with money and power and wills to exert that rob us of that freedom.
Ding, ding, ding.
And if history has proven anything, there is no higher form of government and control than what begins at the temples of Vasselheim.
Do you know of this Brodathos?
I do not, beyond what we were told.
What were you told?
Someone with vision has taken steps that I can feel the gods quake at. The first mortal since the matron ascended, to truly fill them again with fear. That is worth something, yes? Is that not an opportunity?
You've heard this on the wind? How have you heard?
In the solstice tangle, before the flash came, in the night before this one, a voice rang out, speaking of this opportunity.
Is that luminous?
What if I told you that some of us were Standing 50 feet away from that man when he spoke those words. What if I told you he was willing to kill anyone and anything that stood in his way to achieve his goals?
Then his path might be a bit lost. But I cannot argue with his philosophy.
Do you have any advice you can give to get us home?
I would want to help you. I would want you to help us.
That can be arranged. What do you need?
She steps towards her door and opens it and steps out into what is now the fresh night air above the village of Hearthdell. Do you follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
She points her finger out to the northern side of the hill where you can see the polished dome of the temple. You help me free my families. I'll help you return to yours.
So let's break this down in
Deal.
actionable steps. Wait.
Come with me to a meeting. I think you will hear what you need to hear there. We meet at the brewery in about, she looks at the horizon, 15 minutes.
I say this in the nicest way possible, but you did ask us to prove that we are who we say we are. And you've offered to help us if we help you. But how do we know that you can help us?
She turns back into the inside of the house and points off to the right-hand side of the chamber. You can see grown in the center is some sort of it looks almost like a bird bath.
A bird bath?
Scry well. It's a fucking scry well.
A keen observation.
Cool. It's just kind of funny because I had this whole plan where we were gonna break into the temple.
We can use it when you've proven helpful.
Will you guys feel like really scared if I go invisible again? Regular invisibility, not greater.
Knock yourself.
Will you feel alone?
I'm next to a
Maybe I can do this.
necrotic spider woman. I think we're okay. Do your thing.
All right.
Each group
Yeah,
eventually
go ahead.
comes to the brewery where you can see a handful of other figures have just finished entering as well. The door closes, somebody closes it. Moment comes later,
Slipping.
and you slip inside, and as soon as you step within, immediately you feel a crossbow kind of right up against you on the inside. Who are you?
Just a weary traveler who is told they might be of use if we join this meeting. From Abaddina.
Right. There is a heavy trap door that is pulled open, and you can see there's a chain kind of holding it ajar, and he goes ahead and gives a nod in that direction.
I love your crossbow.
I'll do just a little jaunt. Just a casual stroll. See if I pick up any ambient information.
Okay. The dull lantern light into the basement below as you descend the wooden steps, you immediately come into a room with what looks to be about 80 people that have filled this basement.
Wow.
Most of them just quietly sitting and kind of settling from foot to foot. And through your active listening and your passive perception, you pick up people conversing about their sadness and anxiety of the state of their community. The sense of just pressure and kind of emotional cloud that hangs on everybody in recent months. People crying over the missing children and people. People that afraid that they were taken, that this was all kind of part of a plan out of the temple. The room gets quiet. And you see, shuffling through the crowd, taller than anyone else amongst this community, you see Elder Abaddina step onto the central platform. Members of the community, we all stand here in the echoes of a terrifying event. We've lost some we care for, some perhaps not until we missed them did we realize we cared for. I've found a few threads, and some I can confirm lay safe if lost, and will continue to combine my will with the Eidolons to bring them home. But now more than ever, the ominous shadow of the god's oppression pushes down upon us. And there is a sense, a growing fear, I think, amongst all of us here, that this was engineered, if not by them, to be bent towards their interests and will. This opportunity in the solstice, and the distraction holding their eyes and ears across this world, cannot be squandered. By the ancient elemental Eidolons, whom we share these lands with, whom have long hid from the honored judgment of the gods since the founding. I wish to know if we all think of like mind, to seize this moment and drive them from our homes. The room begins to erupt with voices. Ah, hey! There's some nods. You can see looks of fear and worry, as well as gritted, tensed jaws, and a few like slams of feet on the ground, poof, 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 across the room before they quiet down. Are there any amongst us who would stand in our way? Those who would wish to step aside. There is no shame in not having the will to fight. A few families that give hugs and kisses to the foreheads, while the confident warriors of this community stand their ground, and the families they fight to protect step to the back of the room.
I step up with the warriors, but I'm still invisible.
I step up.
Exactly.
I step up.
I step up.
I think Denise would say to Orem, like, I know you don't 100% agree, but it's not like this little town's gonna take down the whole gods. They just want to, self-regulate.
None of that matters now. He stabs his blade into the floor and steps up.
Denise steps up.
We're just gonna, imprison them, right? These people? I've never actually killed anyone.
Oh, that's true. And I've only killed plants.
There are two hunting pathways hidden from those who are not familiar with the ancient traditions. We can use this to approach the temple unseen until we are at the gates. Then, with mercy, we give them the option to leave of their own accord.
Okay. We're definitely gonna parlay. Yeah.
Should they
that's the
refuse?
honorable thing.
Should they, here, where they are unwelcome, raise their weapon or deny our demands, then we take the temple.
How many of them are there?
6 armored bastions within the temple. There is also the head of the temple, that is Kiro,
Sounds like a fucking wizard.
the Flame Guide, Kiro.
Flame guide.
Indeed, it is an elevated priest of the Dawnfather.
Okay.
Flame Guide is usually the head of a missionary operation. Flame Guide in particular is given to one who has proven themselves to be worthy both in military endeavors as well as political control, which is why they're perfect missionaries.
I say we walk up openly to any guards at the front of the temple, offer a smile and some relaxation, and then say, by the way, we have information that your higher-ups will want to have. Go tell them.
Abaddina, I'm gonna need all the beer that you can spare.
Gather your things, gather your weapons, gather what arms and armaments you have. For tonight, the children inherit the world. With that, both troops begin to fan out and then curl back, while the two of you, the last few people left behind who aren't going into this possible fray, help you load up 2 carts. You fix an ox to each that they pull from the nearby stables. And you are sent along the main path that winds through until eventually it sets its way to the front of the temple, known as the Sunrise Sanctuary. So,
Holy shit, we're here already.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah, let's do this.
the two of you, while the rest of us wait off in the wings. How do you approach this as you begin to see, you begin to push past the trees, and just now you can make out the stained glass windows that sit among the front towers, the massive double doors that are currently closed to the interior of the sanctuary itself. You can see the pointed tops where these kind of watchtower rails sit. You can see a guard currently set on each, just kind of keeping an eye out over the vicinity. And you can see 2 guards set towards the front.
I raise my hand up onto your shoulder and say, we're going to talk our way through this until we can't anymore.
So, I'll approach.
As the ox kind of pull out, and you can hear the wheels of the cart kind of squeaking as you push out from the shadows. Eventually, like, to the guards, hey, point over down that way. They both pull up heavy crossbows and load bolts into it and kind of like mount themselves over the side of the railing down in your direction. Halt!
Evening.
Good evening, sir.
What brings you to the sanctuary this time of night? There's no worship for the evening.
We want to convert. And we've brought offerings to you and the gods to prove our commitment.
Gifts in more ways than one. We understand your apprehension. We promise it's not necessary, but we won't begrudge you being wary. Could we have a word?
You look like you've had a long night. I pull out a pack of tobacco. Do you smoke?
Make a deception check with advantage with your aid.
Come on, Bordor.
It's not
You
simply
got
walk
this.
into Mordor.
You got this.
The advantage. Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's better. That's
That's
better.
23.
Yes. Yes.
Lord.
That is crazy.
Thank the Dawnfather.
The guard kind of looks up at the other 2 with their crossbows. They kind of slacken a little bit, but still keep them kind of trained on the 2 of you. He goes, it's a bit strange to come to convert when there's no worship, but more than happy to take your offerings off your hands.
Desperate times and all that.
Of course.
You're a friend. Well, what was your name?
Kind of gives you a glance for a bit. Germain?
Sir. Germain, sir. Smoke? My friend here is a brave warrior, and he's seen many, many things. And he has things to share with you that you would not believe the kind of stuff this guy's going to tell you.
We've only been here for a day, but we feel the tension and the hardship in this town. The moment we walked in, That's why we've brought in the first gift.
He whistles a bit with his fingers, and you can see the other guard that left kind of peeks through the door again, steps over, and begins to, like, as you're approaching, kind of step behind and starts taking the reins from the oxen to start try and maneuver the carts towards the temple.
Oh, hold on one sec. Before you take the carts, can we share a drink? Can I pour the 4 of us, or the 6 of us, if you guys would like to come down?
They're not allowed to drink while they're on post.
But I can bring them a mug.
We know how heavy your burden is.
Gerard, get us some mugs from the inside, please.
I pour for Orm, and then I open up my bottle of laxative.
Okay.
And
my
I
God.
pour it into the other guards' drinks with my back turned to them.
Make a sleight of hand check for me.
Come on.
You could just
Castor
can't
oil
you just say
floating on the
yes?
Not that kind of game.
13.
13. It's like, you see him, like, blow a couple of rings, but they're shitty and don't really work out well. But he's like,
Good.
it's been a little while. Doesn't seem to pay mind to what you've done.
So I pour out the shit juice, and then I pour mine, and I hand out my mugs, and I wink at Orm like, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
We'll find out.
Drink to your health, to another day of the sunrise, to bring life to the crops, heat to the world, and justice to those who fall to the unjust.
We all need a little light in the dark. Thank the Dawn Father.
Thank you, Dawn Father.
Down it goes.
Cups are distributed to the other two, and they kind of drink. Their trained crossbows kind of go lax now. They're still, like, locked in place, but they're now just kind of leaning over and sipping while keeping an eye closely.
Oh, another one? Oh, they're still sipping.
Well, they drink it over the next few minutes, kind of make some small talk.
Well, that's the first gift, which is only to make it easier to hear the news that I bring, which is our second gift. You and I both know there is massive change happening in the world right now. So do your higher-ups. I've come from across the ocean at the heart of this threat that your order fears. I've seen firsthand with my own eyes what transpired. And it's taking advantage of all of this. Wave my hands up at the ley lines in the sky. I desperately want to communicate what it is we've seen and help your order do what it needs to hold up the Dawn Father and the sanctity of your flock. But it must be to whoever's in charge here, because it is of the utmost importance. You have my word, I've only your best interest at heart.
Make a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage, if only because of your intensity and because you've already looked him up a little.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
22.
Yes.
Okay.
You see the kind of, like, jovial, fuck yeah, someone brought us alcohol, energy about him begins to drop into a, oh, this got really serious. Who the fuck is this halfling dude? Kind of energy.
Buzzkill.
Pulls back a bit. Right, okay, I'll let me go talk to the Flame Guard. Flame Guard is inside. Just a moment. Off in the shadows on each side of the temple. Because they're stealthy, but not that stealthy. 2 large groups of people that you assume to be the villagers who have gathered among the 2 hunting paths, and likely your divided compatriots lying in wait.
Can I tell you what I would like to have done?
Yes, you may.
I would like to have cast invisibility on Mother to send her in to try to find whatever room the fire, the flame guide is in.
Okay.
And have the manifest mind sort of, I don't know if there's like windows or anything, essentially like I can be seeing through Mother.
Yeah.
And then sort of hypothetically I might cast a touch spell through Mother and also be putting the manifest mind in position to cast my demon spell if I see the guy and get the cue.
True enough. As a note, the summon greater demon spell has a particular component cost.
Oh, it does? Blood from a humanoid killed within the past 24 hours. Fuck.
Mother just vanishes and takes off without a sound, without a sight. Mother! Coasting off above the temple. Here you can see there are 2 other guards that are in the interior that are talking to one more armored figure that looks like they are holding importance in station. And you can see there are books open, and there is research, study, or some sort of scripture interaction going on. You also see, not far from them, towards the very back, kind of standing right at the base of that massive stained glass wall, a hulking humanoid figure that likely stands somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 feet tall. Nope. You assess that this is likely a Judicator.
And are there any windows into this chamber or no?
It is completely enclosed. There are many stained glass windows, but they don't appear to open or are not currently open. You hear one of the hatches, one of the nearby towers, kind of, and you notice like the armored figure, like after having this conversation, ends up heading up to the elevated platform, and then walking over to one of the towers and gets up to kind of join in a somewhat crowded way with one of the 2 crossbow wielders, and kind of looks down, looking a bit frazzled
Flame guide.
at the 2 of you down there. What you assume would be the flame guide. What you see is a woman in her late 30s, jet black, short hair, kind of a severe expression. So, you have come to our temple this hour, given my men alcohol, and made promises of great reveals. Tell me what it is you wish to say in the next minute, or my men will throw you from this village and banish you from ever returning.
We appreciate your time. We'll make it brief. We've just arrived hours ago. I come representing Zephyra across the ocean. And it seems the people of your town. The foremost mage of the Cerberus Assembly in Wildmount is looking to tear the gods from the sky. I saw it with my own eyes. That man is my enemy. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Where you want to be, where the Dawnfather's order, no, all of Vasselheim's forces want to be, is the Hellcatch Valley in Marquet. That is where Ludinus Daleth of the Cerberus Assembly is working to pull your god from the sky right now. Not here. And you and your order must feel the hollow hearts of the people around you. Your time is better spent across the ocean, rather than here putting your boot on the necks of farmers. I've come to ask for your help in Marquet. Humbly.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion is a +5. It's 15.
You have had dalliances with Ludinus Daleth.
Dalliances? No. We tried to murder the man.
We have sent multiple skyships, warships in that direction. And you come here.
I didn't come here. I was thrown here. by the Mad Mage of Wildmount.
Very well. You will speak to our superiors in Vasselheim. Take them both. And they begin to climb back down the tower.
Oops! Backfired.
Okay, now what? I look down. Now what?
There is no time to go to Vasselheim.
They've already stepped down the ladder. And the two soldiers...
You have hours. Not days, hours.
The two guards kind of are following their orders and kind of step forward, and one of them takes your side of your arm, not aggressively, but just like takes you by the arm. The other one takes you and says, "My apologies. She is particular with her interrogations."
Mirror image.
That's unfortunate.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm
fucking
assuming
go.
my Raven is around, has been following.
That was
Somewhere.
so cool.
The moment I say that's unfortunate, I draw, press the hilt to this man's hand, and cast a vine on it, and I leap 30 feet away and yank as hard as I can to throw him into the tower wall.
Bitch.
Go ahead and roll attack on that.
Yeah.
That is a 23.
23 definitely hits. Go and roll damage.
Okay, so my goal is to use Seedling's vine to...
Slams into the side of the stone temple wall. You hear a heavy crack in his shoulders. He hits the ground, legs up in the air. Oh!
And I point the blade at Kiros, is her name? We have to figure this out now.
She's like partway, like walks up in the ladder and goes, "Lock it down!"
I'm manifesting the mind with Orem and then dimension dooring inside with Denise to just fight some people who are probably gonna come at us.
You got it.
I throw my hand on Mordor's shoulder and go, "Don't worry, any second, fucking demon."
As I leave, I'm like, by the way, I need a vial of humanoid blood that's died within the past 24 hours to go.
I got you.
At this point in time, as all hell is broken loose, you begin to hear the dozens and dozens of shouts and war cries of the rest of the villagers.
Oh boy.
The village as they begin to rise up and charge from the nearby brush, swarming around the sides. So you, to where you remember seeing the kind of walkway between where the pews are that heads towards the front double doors to the outside of the temple. Now that we have the temple battlefield set before you, we're gonna go ahead and end the episode there.